today we're talking about Christmas gifts, and I found two things that I wanted to test out. They are both for smaller children, and they are both toys and sort of a tool for making bracelets. The first one is this, and I've already opened it, so it doesn't look like this when you get it, and I opened it up. So it's basically this. It comes with some yarn or twine, or I don't know what that is, and it has some clips for closing the bracelets when you're done, and it has this purple thing that I'm hoping makes it easier to make these knots or whatever. So looking forward to this. It's a little bit like macrame, I think, based on the box. So very excited to test that out. The other thing is twisted loops, and it's inherently different in that it's about these. There are a lot of these plastic rubber, I think, rubber elastics that you then do something with, and they become like a bracelet, and you can wear it, and it's great. I've seen these a lot of places, and I've been wanting to test it out, but yeah, I'm doing it now. So for both of these things, I have some requirements for them to be good gifts. And the first requirement is that it doesn't require too much fine motor skills, because it says 6+ on the box, so a 6-year-old should be able to do it. And I think if, let's say we test it out and I'm having trouble with it, then a 6-year-old would not have the patience to sit through that. So it should be easy enough that the adult can do it. And perhaps a little bit easier than that. So it should be easy enough for a 6-year-old to do it. And the other thing is it should be fun. It should be fun enough that they actually want to do it. So those are my two things, and I hope we'll find out if they meet the requirements for being good Christmas gifts. So let's do this. Twist loops. So first we need to open the box, and in here it didn't come with any plastic wrapping or anything, it just comes like this, but it doesn't look like it has been opened before. There is a piece of paper when you open it, and also there were elastics everywhere. So this paper isn't the instruction. It just says to go to a website to get the instruction, which I guess is okay. I would have preferred the instructions to be in the box, but whatever. So in here there are actually a lot of things in the box. There's these elastics, there are these clip things, plastic thingies. Like, they're just little loops of plastic. I don't know what they're for yet. And then there are some charms. They're also in some rubber elastic thingy material. They're soft. Then there are these hooks. They look like crochet hooks. And then there's this thing. It's a piece of plastic with some hooks on it. And then there is this piece of paper. It just says what is in there. And there are 4,200 rings, which I guess is pretty good value for money. That's a lot for, I didn't pay a lot of money for it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put, or that I'm going to do now, because this is actually the first time I'm trying this, I'm going to put the elastics onto the loom. And first I need to pick out some elastics. Maybe I didn't really like the colors, but I do think the purple ones are not as neon, screamish. No, you can't say that, sorry. Like, the rest of the colors are sort of beaming and sort of emitting light, and looks rather toxic, and I kind of don't like that. So I picked some purple and some white to do this in. So the first thing you're going to do is just put the elastics onto the loom. I found a thing on their website, the website I just showed you to go to, and there are a lot of tutorials, but
it was a little bit difficult. First, the site is in German, or at least the one I got directed to was in German, and I speak a little bit German, but not a lot, and not very well. So I really wanted to find something either in Danish, which I speak fluently, or in English, which I also think I speak rather fluently. So I was digging around on their website because I really wanted to use their thing. It's basically like it's a cheap knockoff that this store makes, I think, of the original. I think it's called a Rainbow Loom or something like that. I'm not completely sure, but so anyway, I opened up some of the videos, and it turns out there isn't even any voiceover on it. So it's basically just a video showing you how to do this. And so I just tried to follow along with her putting on the elastics. And I just, at this point, I think perhaps because it took so long to get started. Like, you don't just open it up and then go. You have to, like, go online, find a pattern, try to figure out how to follow it, and yeah. So it's kind of a pain to put on these elastics, but I can understand why they think that it's appropriate for like smaller children here, because it's pretty easy to put on the elastics. So the next step is to weave the elastics together, and then afterwards you should be able to just pull it all off, and you would have like an amazing bracelet. So I tried to do that, and it turns out it's really difficult to get at the elastics. It's really hard to actually get underneath some of them and grab one and get it up, and I could see what she was doing, but it was really hard. Like, it does really require some fine motor skills. I'm sorry for the quality of the video here. I don't know why it's so grainy, but I really think you need to be an extraordinary 6-year-old to be able to do this, because it was just hard and it was frustrating. But I kind of see the cool thing about this thing. Like, I really think that the idea is really cool. I've looked a lot online on how to do this, and I really think some people get really cool results out of it. But I don't know if 6+ is just the youngest that you would, like, the youngest that anyone could do this at. But I'm 25, and I find this disorienting and difficult, and yeah. But I tried to follow along, and I think it took me about an hour and a half to get to the point where I could actually see some progress. And I find it hard to think that smaller children would actually sit that long. And I think they perhaps could, but not without seeing some sort of result or something going forwards. Like, that is the biggest thing, that you just, for so long, it looks like absolutely nothing. But I could see the point of it. I could see why we do the different things, and it was intriguing to sort of learn something new. I always like to learn new things, so I'm not completely disappointed, but at this point I was really annoyed, and I kept dropping. Like you see right here, I dropped the wrong loop, and then you have to start over, and you have to try and grab the new one, and it's just, oh, it's so hard. These clips was actually really helpful. So at the end, sorry, at the end you have one loop left, and you just catch it with the clip, and then you can move on and take it off. At least you would be able to if you... I would be able to just pull it off and have something amazing if I had done this correctly. But of course I didn't, because there was no instruction on their video. There was only really video, so it was really, really hard and really frustrating. And at this point I just sort of wanted to not do it. Just wanted to test out perhaps the other thing and then just be done. But yeah, it's a learning experience, and I think I chose a too difficult pattern. It was the top one on their website, so I thought perhaps it was the like a starting one or the easier one, but it turns out it was really not. And when I look back now, I've been trying this a couple of times more. I see now that this is actually quite a difficult pattern. I don't know if you call it that, but yeah, it was a difficult bracelet to make, and I should have started with something simpler. But again, there was no instruction, there was no guide, there wasn't like, hey, if you're new, try this. It was just, yeah, that was just the videos. But I will say though that it's actually, the things on their website was actually pretty cool. They didn't go for like the easiest, like, they treat you as if you're someone who knows how to do this, and for some reason that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice, and I know if I ever get hooked into this, that I know where to find some good patterns, and also of course YouTube. So here I found a different pattern, and it's called dragon scales. And if you're doing this, I think you call it looming. If you do this, you'll know what dragon scales are, and it's a pretty simple pattern. I will link the video that I used down below, and so you can see that for yourself. And it's pretty easy, just put it on, twist it, and then put it on the next pin. Do that, skip one, do that again. And then you go back and you put, oh, not yet. This is more like weaving or like knitting or something like that. That you have these different loops, and then you put on new loops, and then you pull the old loops over the new loops. And even though this is, the good thing about this is it doesn't take long to get some sort of result or something that looks like something. But it's still, I was still learning at this point. So here you can see me, I grabbed the purple for some reason, and then I realize it's wrong, then I go back and grab it again because it's just, I don't know. I made so many mistakes in this, but I actually kept going until I had a bracelet because I just sort of wanted to have some success. So, but you can go look at the video. I won't pretend that I'm an expert at this. And her video is actually really good, so I'll just link that instead. But at this point, I was sort of a little bit more happy with my purchase. It's so nice to do these beginning patterns, because you sort of feel like you could perhaps become good at this at some point, where when you start with something that is too difficult, it's just failure, and it's hard to sort of say, oh, okay, next time I'll do better, because who knows if you will. Yeah, I find the grabbing of the elastics is actually harder than it looks. And I think it's, when I look at other people do this, it must be some sort of muscle memory thing that after a while you get used to doing this, and it becomes much easier. Yeah, you can see I've already made another mistake. But I was saying, it looks as if people can just sort of fling them off, and that is actually quite difficult to do. So yeah. I was a little bit bummed out that I had to go on YouTube to find some good patterns, because I really wanted to sort of just follow theirs. But yeah. So this is what I made, and of course it's 80% mistakes, but it works, and it's, yeah, you can see there's a hole in there. A lot of mistakes, but there's also some parts that actually went okay, and yeah, it works. There's this clip, and I just attach it to the other side, and it becomes like a bracelet. So I must say, looking back, I'm sort of, it's okay. It was not a complete disaster, but at this point it was like 3 hours into testing this thing, and I was just tired, and I didn't think it was a good thing. I just wanted to sort of throw it away and sort of, why would anyone want to do this? But yeah, it's perhaps, especially if you have children, expect that. Like, if you give them this, they might want to do it over time, but to begin with, it's just actually really hard. Especially, you can see here, I have 2 elastics here, and I want to grab the one underneath. But how do you know which one is underneath? That is just, I'm sure it comes with practice, but being a beginner is pretty hard in this. It has some of a learning curve. So I think the 6 plus is just, yeah, I don't know where they got that number. It's wrong. A 6-year-old cannot do this. And if you're an adult or like a teenager or something, it will take you some tries to actually get good at this. So the other one was Weavy loops, and I know it's very different because it's this cord thing, but it's also kind of a toy. So in the box is this plastic thing. Then there is this cord. I think you call it paracord. I looked it up, but I'm not sure. It's really nice. The cord is really nice, but the plastic, the purple plastic thing is just, I don't know, bad quality. But the cord itself is shiny and pretty, and I like it. And I was actually really surprised by the quality of all of the things in the box, except for the purple plastic thingy. Even the, I think you call them clasps? Clips? Even the clasps, we'll go with that. Even the clasps are actually pretty nice. And I can see what I paid for here. Just like in the other box, I was sort of surprised by the amount of elastics. I was kind of also surprised by the quality of things in this one. There's also some metal clips that I'm not showing here, but you use them to clamp together 2 different colors of cord. And I think it's really nice that they included that in the box, because they didn't have to, and it's a really nice touch. So underneath the thing, there is like a a suction thingy. I'm sorry. We'll go with that. A suction thingy. There is a suction thingy on the bottom of this, and I couldn't get it to stick to my table. I didn't expect to, but I wanted to try anyway. So I couldn't get it to really stick to that. So I'm just using the box because I really don't have a glass table or anything like that. Like, I don't have a thing to put it on. Even though I really think it's a good thought that maybe you have like a plastic table or a glass table, and you can use that to clamp it down, basically. Because you need, when you're doing macrame, you really need a steady, you need something to hold your work while you're doing it. So the next step is taking one of these clasps and putting them on. And there is a big side and a small side, and it only holds the one part of the clasp. Now the big one is pretty secure in the holder, but the small one is, well, it's not. So we'll just start with the big one because that seems to be the easiest. But of course I'll test out the small one in a second when I'm done with the big one. So I picked the pink cord because I think that's the easiest to see on the camera, and we'll just check the instructions to see how to start. It looks like you start by putting the cord onto the clasp and measuring how big it's going to be. and then we're going to do some knots afterwards. So I just found my ends and I'm just pulling them through. I'm doing the same thing to the other side when I've measured how big my wrist is. Okay, so to begin, I'm just using the chart to see what to do, and it's just a basic square knot in macrame, and it's perhaps not completely fair that I'm testing this because I know how to do this, but I still kind of, I was expecting the purple thing to do something. Like I was really expecting it to be what was gonna make this a good thing, but it seems like it's only there to hold the clip, and I don't know. It's just a bit wasteful. I don't know how else to put it. It doesn't. I don't know why I would need it. So the instructions are actually pretty good. They're pretty nice drawn, but I would like for that to have been some text on it, because if there was some text, I could perhaps, I don't know, see what the purple thing was for. I did check their website out afterwards to see their video tutorials, and they don't. First of all, they put a piece of tape on the purple thing to keep the clasp down, which I think is cheating. Should have made the product, the tool. You should have made the tool so you don't need fasteners, because then why wouldn't I just use some tape to secure it to the table instead? I think that is cheating, and also they don't use the, at least not in any of those I saw, they don't use the thing in the middle for anything. So the clasp wants to jump out a lot, and it's annoying. But I do think that this was the more pleasant side. Like the one with the big clasp was better than the other. I'm doing the other one in just a second. You just see I finished this and I'm quite happy with it. And it wasn't too much of a pain to work with the strange purple plastic thing. Should come up with a name for it. So it wasn't that hard, but again, I know how to do macrame, and it's really not about that. It's, if you wanted to do macrame, you could just do that. That's not what this toy is really for. Or it is what it's for, but you can do that without this. So I'm having a little bit of trouble with the colors right now, because I think they're, I'm not into the whole like neon plastic radioactive colors. I think it's a pretty ugly yellow, or I don't know. If you're into this, and especially if you can, like, my skin is too fair for me to wear anything that bright. Like it looks really bad on me. So I think that's why I'm just sort of disappointed with the color choice. And I wanted there to be some more subtle, pretty colors rather than just these insane bright colors. So I wanted to test out one of the other, it's sort of like a braid and not that much of a macrame pattern. And on this side, it was really difficult to get the clasp to stay down. It really wanted to just jump out, and it was annoying, and I was very frustrated with this part. and I did end up not actually using it. I tried. Perhaps this is what it's for, and I tried to put it into the other thing on the purple thing, but again, it didn't. That's not what it's for, unfortunately. But yeah, I ended up sort of doing it without the thing, and really, if you wanted to do this without the purple thing, why even buy this? Then you could just buy some cord and some clasps.
Good things about the twist loops. I want it to be twisty loops. That would be easier to say. So, good things. I like the variety in the pack. There's a lot of different colors. There are some that I think are too bright and too salty. Oh, things are falling out. Yeah. I like the variety of colors. I like some of the combinations. I really think this looks nice. I really like the black and white things. These are with a little bit of sparkles in them. I think it's kind of nice. I like the gold and the silver. So I really think that, and the Harry Potter one, of course. I really think this is, it's a good box of things. For the price, I really think it's good value. Other things that I like, I think these clips are really cool. I think it's a really nice idea because you're always gonna have that one loop at the end, or perhaps multiple. You're always going to have at least one loop at the end that needs to be somehow caught so that it won't all rip open. So it's a really nice, it's a really cool thing. Other good things are, I don't know if it's good or bad, but there are these pendant thingies, and they're kind of cute. My dog thinks so too. Yeah. They are kind of cute, but they have nothing to do with the toy. So I think it's just sort of, it's not bad that it's there, but it's just, yeah. This is a shit crochet hook. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but it's not good. It's, yeah, but it's for kids, so I can kind of see why they went with this. But even for plastic, I think they could do better than this. So that's that. Then there's the loom. It has some nice features to it. It can be extended. There's sort of a puzzle piece at each end, and it looks like it can be put together to form a very long one, which I think is nice. It has these holes that makes it very nice to work with, and it has some nice things. But it also has a lot of not so nice things. I don't like the color. The color makes it very hard to see the different things that you have on it because it's transparent. So there are parts of it that are darker and lighter, and it makes it more difficult to see the edges of the elastic thingies. So that's, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. I've seen the rainbow loom and it looks nicer. Just overall, it looks nicer. And this just is a little bit, it's a bit square. I don't know how else to put it. But it's, again, it was really cheap. So I can't really complain that it's not top-notch design, because, yeah. The biggest thing with this product that I really had an issue with was the fact that there isn't there are not instructions in the bag, in the box. Why do I have to go online to find the instructions? And then when I do go online, they're all in German. And I know I sound like I speak German, but I really don't. I understand a little bit of German. I speak very little, but it's not enough to really get I can't take instructions in German, except for perhaps like go down the road and turn right. That would be the maximum, I think. So it was very annoying. And also, I had expected her to talk a little bit on the video, even if it wasn't German, it would help a little, but just there was nothing. And that's just, I don't know, perhaps if my sound thingies are wrong, and there actually are speech on it, anything would have helped. But it was really difficult. Also, they yeah, and you saw that in the video too, that it's really like the hardest thing that they put up there. There isn't even like a beginner's project in the box. I would have expected some kind of just anything, just how to make a simple chain of the little elastic thingies would have helped, would have given me some place to start, but there was nothing. So yeah, that was for me like the biggest thing. It was just sort of, I want to get this, I want to open it, and I want to use it. But the thing was sort of like, yeah, no, you need to go to this website, I need to do this and that, and it's just put it in the box and do some kind of beginner project that I can do, because that really helps. So, do I think it's appropriate for children aged 6? Not really. No. Perhaps like twice that. I think 10 or 12 would be okay. And I think they would have the patience and the focus to sit there and do that. But 6 is just, it's too little. I can't imagine a 6-year-old actually doing this. So it's that. I think I will use it. I'm actually quite intrigued by the prospect of being able to do things with like rubber material. I usually work with yarn and fabric, and it's kind of nice. I wouldn't, this is the thing I made. I don't think I would wear this. I don't like it. It's cold and weird and plasticky, and but I do like the being able to do that. I have some projects in mind with crochet that I think I would like to make. So I'm happy, but I wouldn't give this as a gift, especially not to a 6-year-old. If you have like someone in your family who is like 12 and really into doing these kind of things, I think it would be an okay gift. But just be aware that it's not as easy as it looks. It looks very friendly, but it's really not. Things first. I like the thread that is included in the pack. It's very nice and stretchy and pretty, and I don't like the colors, but that's not really on them, it's on me. I just have weird taste, I think. I think the clip thing that came with it is nice and holds up nice, and I really like the hardware that was in the box was nice. The things to make, oh, this is hard. I'm sorry. Okay, whatever. The things in the box was nice. Was nice. And that's kind of where it ends. I don't really understand why this product even exists. Like, if they wanted to make a kit for children to do macrame, that would be cool. That would be nice. They could put the same things in there, and that would be, I wouldn't have a problem with that. The issue I have is that they sort of, they make it seem like it's a toy, and they include this, which is just weird and has no real function other than holding the clippy thing and not actually holding it very nicely. I really had to hold myself back from stopping doing the thing and actually going and getting just anything that I could put a pin in to hold the clip, because this doesn't hold anything. The sucker thing on the back keeps flopping up and it doesn't hold at all. And also, I know some people have like glass tables, but I just don't. So what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go to the window and sort of go and then work there? What is, I don't... I want to throw this away or burn it. It's really bad. It's just not, it's, yeah. Then there's the instructions. I like the fact that there are instructions in the bag. In the box. I keep saying bag, I'm sorry. I like the fact that there are instructions in the box. And they're good instructions too. They're actually very informative and very nicely done. But I would like to have paid for like a tool or a toy. I don't think really this makes up for the fact that they didn't really invent anything new. They just gave you like a plastic thing and some twine, and then they said, oh, now you can do macrame. We have some instructions for you. I could have found this online easier than I could have found the things for the twisty loops, twist loops, and yeah, it's just, they're really nice. They're really well done, but it's the only thing in there that really facilitates any kind of doing the macrame.